Hey guys, Motorcarnut here, and today we're talking about if you're driving along and all of a sudden all your lights come on the dash, or if you did work to your car, you disconnected the battery and all the lights are on the dash. I'm going to tell you a fast way that you can fix this. Sometimes it's not as fast, but when all these lights are on, you have your telling you your brake pads are low, your steering, ABS, traction control, airbag. All right, when they're all on at once, all those systems can't just fail. All right, all at once. Now, if you're doing work on the car, like I said, you disconnect the battery for maybe any length of time, half an hour or whatever, and you hook it back up, you may see the steering in yellow, not when it's red. It'll be in yellow, and you'll see an ABS or traction control light. What you do is just drive the car a little bit, maybe up the block, and those lights should go off. It's because when you first start it, the car doesn't know where the steering position is, ABS light goes on, traction control, because it's all related. This one even has more. All right, and when I drive this car, let's put it in gear. All right, we can drive it a little bit. Explain to you. We're driving this, and now those lights don't go off. See, when we're driving, like I said before, they should go off like right about something around now. They should go off as soon as the car knows it's moving, everything's good, the computer does its checks, it's all happy, they go off. This one is not going off. All right, so what can this one be? So now we're going to stop the car. I'm going to shut it off. There's another test you do. You shut it off, you start it, and see if any of the lights come back. All right, now you see no lights are on. That red one is just a seatbelt. I don't have the seatbelt on. All right, so now what you do is you hold your foot on the brake, right? Put it in neutral. Or you can put it in drive. I could put it in drive. And just slightly let go of the brake and let the car roll. And look what happens. As soon as you did that, all right, then they went off again. Because it's an intermitting problem. It's not a constant problem. If there was a problem with the ABS or the brakes, it's going to stay on constant. And it will after 3 tries. All right, so now we have the car in neutral. All right, now let me show you this. Now, as soon as I get out, car's in neutral, no lights are on in the dash. Watch, I'm just gonna push it. You saw that? How they all went on? I just pushed it one split, not even a half a tire rotation. So now what does that mean? All right, what that means is all these lights are associated. Let me move again. You see, they all come back on. They're all associated. Basically, they're all related. What I'm trying to say. Everything is about movement. If you see the ABS, anti-lock brakes is about movement. Traction control is about moving. Brakes are about moving. Steering, everything is about movement. So how does the computer know that the car is moving? Right? Because now we're gonna assume that's the problem. Well, it has wheel sensors for the ABS brakes, so it knows how fast the car is going, so it can control all these systems. So now, if you have anything wrong with the ABS wheel sensors, there's 4 of them. It's going to throw those. It's going to throw an ABS code that's also going to have a chain reaction. It's going to light up all of those codes. Okay, and that's pretty much what the problem is. So now, what we're going to do is go into the brakes, right, and see speed sensors. All right, so we're going to go 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's all I care about right now. So let me put the car in drive. Now let's look. Okay, you see that? You see number 3? Hold on, I don't want to hit nothing. You see number 3 is not doing nothing? That's the problem. See that? So basically, this is the left rear, driver's rear sensor. Okay, so now what's wrong with it? Well, it could be an electrical problem in that from the ABS, the wiring from the ABS to that wheel sensor. It could be the wheel sensor itself. It could be the reluctor ring, that it rides on. My guess, I don't like guessing, but they usually get rusted, those rings, and they break, or they touch the sensor. They can't touch the sensor. It has to be an air gap, and that could be the problem. And once we fix that, all the other lights should go off. You never do things backwards. You don't check the steering. You gotta have a little knowledge. That's why you got me. You don't go around chasing something if you don't really know what you're doing. You have to start from the simple things first. Like I always say, a car's overheating. You don't automatically replace a head gasket. You check the radiator cap. Check if there's coolant in. And a car doesn't start. You check the battery, loose the terminals, corroded. You know what I'm trying to say. Same thing with this. It's probably going to be a $50 part, and let's go find out. So now I lifted the car up, and what I did is, I'm backtracking because the customer needs this car, so I'm trying to do it as fast as possible. But here's the sensor itself, right? You take this connector off, all right? And there's gonna be an 8mm, a Torx 30. Let's see if you can see it over there. You see that? Right there, a Torx 30. You take that out, you take the sensor out, okay? And what I did is I looked in the hole and I sprayed carburetor cleaner on that reluctor wheel. I'm gonna show you what it is on a bearing that I have. And I cleaned it and I spun the wheel as I was looking in there with an inspection mirror, and it seemed fine. It didn't seem rusted. Usually, like I said before, they're rusted. So I said, okay, if it's not that, then I pulled the connector off and checked. There's two terminals in here, and I put a voltmeter, and I was getting battery voltage. So I was like, okay. I mean, that's not 100% way, but if there was no voltage at all, because if there was no voltage at all, then it could be this wiring back to the ABS module, all right, or some cut somewhere. But that's not the case. At least, from what I'm doing fast checks. So I said, okay, it's probably got to be the sensor. All right. So what I did is I went to the other side. All right. And I took that sensor out and tried to put it in this one, and it didn't work. All right. So what I did is I waited until I got this. I didn't get the new sensor, so I'm assuming it's a sensor. All right, so I put the sensor back because they're side specific. In other words, it's bent a certain way. The other one won't fit all the way in, just in case you try to do that like I just did, and it's not going to work. So lo and behold, I put the new sensor in there. All I did was move the wheel a little bit. I didn't get any lights. I said, okay, it's probably fixed. All right, and took it for a test drive, and all the lights are off. I'm going to show you that, later. But right now, I want to show you exactly, like I said, it's the sensor. Let me go on the bench and show you what I'm talking about. Let me show you. See the sensors? This is a new one. This is for the right side. This is the left side I replaced. But you see how they're different? They're bent differently. See that? So you can't use them to test. I would like, in other words, if it was the same, if it was straight, I could just put the new one in the left side that was causing the problem, see if I had that problem. But I couldn't do that, so I got the new sensor, and this is basically the ring. All right, there's all little, you can't see them, but there's all little, little slots in it, and then there's a space, so it knows basically. And when you put it in the hole, all right, this goes something like this, and there's an air gap. Okay. So now, like I said, this thing it can get all rusted and rip or even break, and that would be the problem. And you got to replace the whole wheel bearing because this thing, you can't buy it separately. All right. So I said, okay, it's not that. It's got to be the sensor. And you really can't ohm these out. You just can't, the way this car is designed. So I bought the sensor. It's like $40. All right. Put it in. All right. Moved the wheel. Had the car on. Just checking my... You don't even have to have a scan tool. Just check it, turn it, make sure there's no lights popping up. There weren't popping up. So I said, okay, that's it. I put it in, and that was the problem. Okay, a wheel speed sensor just like this. All right, it's all connected, all intertwined with the ABS, the traction control, even the airbags, the steering, everything. All right, so when you get a code for the wheel cylinder, you got to start from the beginning, like I was saying before. Computer knows when the car is moving, and therefore it checks all the other systems. If this is messing it up, all the other systems are going to get messed up. All right, so we're going to test drive, and I'm going to show you what it looks like. Hey, I just started the car up, ice cold. It was in the shop overnight. Now you remember, as soon as we put it in drive, or even move the vehicle, it would make noise. Here we go. And we're moving. Okay, I drove it around the block. It's starting to get warm. Well, not really. It's still cold. But we're fixed. Hey, nothing. What I like to do is I like to get all the monitors for the emissions, everything ready before I give it to the customer, just in case something pops up. I don't want them to be worried, and I do that for my peace of mind as well. So I'm going to end this video now and consider this repair fixed. And basically all it was a $20 or $30 part. Alright guys, Motorcarnut, please subscribe, hit that like button. Any questions pertaining to the video, leave them below. I answer all my questions. If I helped you out, I would appreciate a donation to the channel. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you for all the feedback and everybody that is watching.